Hello everyone, my name is Father Chris Gorton and I am a priest of Salford Diocese. And people sometimes ask me, why did you become a priest, or how did you know you were meant to become a priest? And it's a very good question. When I was your age at secondary school, I wanted either to be a musician or a professional golfer. And when I went to university, I went to study music at Goldsmiths College in London, and that was my plan. But when I was there, I remember going to a place called a chaplaincy where other young Roman Catholic students would gather together. And there's a poster on the wall that said, "Have you ever thought about being a priest?" Now, I'd served on the altar and gone to Mass when I was growing up, and my big brother served on the altar as well, and he's a banker now. So faith was important in our family, very healthily part of everything that we did. But that question made me think, had I ever thought about being a priest? So there was a weekend away, and I went on the weekend away, and I looked at some of the different gospel passages where Jesus called the disciples. You know, he called Peter and he called Andrew. And I prayed with those and was trying to be open to God and saying, Lord, I'll try and do what you want me to do with my life. And that just opened the door in my heart, which was extraordinary, because then the adventure began. And I really see my life as an adventure with God. And I say that because I firmly believe that each one of you can have a life that is an adventure with God by opening your heart to Him. Not everybody will become a priest, not everybody will become a religious sister, not everybody will become a teacher. We need all the different jobs that we do. But what we do need to do is to say yes to God. And say yes to God and use the gifts and talents that we're good at to help other people and follow Jesus. And that's all that I've tried to do. Say yes to God in my prayers, and when it gets difficult, and it was difficult along the way sometimes, to say, well, I didn't want to let go of having a family and being married, and if I didn't have to make a choice, I wouldn't have made a choice. But I did have to make a choice, and I don't regret that choice. I have a very happy life, and I like being an uncle. But the important thing is to say yes to God. And you can make a very simple prayer. You know, that took me through to Ushore. I trained there for 5 years. And then I trained to be a teacher and worked in a youth centre for 4 years and taught for a year, RE and history, as it happens. And then I finished my training to be a priest, and then worked as a university chaplain for 4 years in central Manchester. And then that took me to Pendle in East Lancashire, where I lived and worked in a parish as the priest in the parish, doing all the wonderful things that we do as a priest. We're celebrating baptisms, celebrating weddings, and it sounds strange, but celebrating funerals, because we believe that Jesus has risen from the dead, so that brings us hope. Basically, my role as a priest is to remind people of the hope that Jesus brings to us all, the purpose, the meaning, that each one of us is created by God, known by God and loved by God. We're all part of God's family, and He has a special role for each one of us. So prayer is very important to me. This is my prayer room, and this is the centre of everything that I do. And I have a very busy and active life in the parish, and I also have lots of hobbies. I play golf, I go running, I play the cello, I play in a brass band, I paint, and I've got a lovely family, brother and sister and niece and nephews, and lots of really good friends. And that's a great privilege. I hope that you, by saying yes to God, can discover what plan He has for you in your life, and keep saying yes to God. It's a very simple prayer. So I'm going to just pray for you now, that all of you who watch this video can open your heart and say yes to God, and just try and do what He wants you to do with His life. Because if you do, I promise you an extraordinary life. It won't be about money and power and fame and acclaim and pleasure, but it will be a very special life. Okay, Hope that helps. Bye bye. God bless.